Hello, welcome back. Rigel Smith here, and today I'm going to teach you about my 6 favorite essential oils for healthy looking hair and to stimulate hair growth. Now, I know you see that I have a lot of hair now, but this was not always the case. In my mid-20s, all this hair started to fall out and it got really thin, really straggly, and it started to come out in these large clumps, and I ended up cutting it off above my shoulders, which for me was a big deal. I was kind of attached to my hair. I know some of us get attached to our identity through different things, and mine was always hair. I always had just long hair and I really enjoyed it. But I started to lose it, and I remember how sad I was, and I knew that it was one of the signs that I had to revamp my health because it was linked to my hormone health, stress, and autoimmune concerns within my body. And that was one of the many signs that led me to Doterra to kind of do this whole lifestyle overhaul. So what I'm going to share with you today are specific things I did for my hair that I know made a difference because it started to come back thicker, longer, growing faster than it ever had previously. And it has made a difference in my own life as well as some of my customers when I've shared some of these hair tips and other Doterra members throughout the world. So the first oil, number 1, if I could only pick one oil for hair, it's going to be rosemary essential oil, which is going to stimulate hair growth. The easiest way to use this is to add 1 drop to each, or 2 drops, 1 or 2 drops to each shampoo, and then really stimulate the scalp. It helps to promote hair growth, and it also helps with mental clarity. That's kind of a side nice benefit that you're going to get from an essential oil and not a fragrance oil, if it's a good quality one like doTERRA. And just kind of just massage it in. Do that every time you shampoo. Now, 10 drops isn't better than 1 to 2. Just 1 to 2 drops is really all you need. If you buy your shampoo by the liter, so I've had some customers that buy the big bottles of shampoo and they just add a whole bottle, 15 milliliter bottle of rosemary right to their shampoo, and they like to use it that way. And then you can also use it in a scalp spray recipe, which I'll talk about in a moment, and also a hair oiling recipe, which I'll also talk about. So if you're looking specifically for hair growth, rosemary is going to be your best friend. Next, tea tree. Now, tea tree is great at helping to loosen up any debris that might be on your scalp or oil buildup, or if you use a lot of products on your hair. I think that some of the products, even some dry shampoos, are actually clogging the pores in your scalp and it's preventing some hair growth. But the tea tree is going to help with that. It's also going to help if you get dry, itchy, irritated, or red, flaky scalp. Tea tree is going to help with that. It's a natural antiseptic. And just like the rosemary, this is best to use when you shampoo, just 1 drop. So you could do 1 drop of tea tree and 1 drop of rosemary and just get it into the scalp, and that's a great way to use it. You could also use it in the hair oiling, which I will also talk about in a moment. Now, if you're looking more specifically for strengthening your hair, a natural hair tonic oil is going to be cedarwood. Now, cedarwood, just like any of the other ones, can be added to your shampoo. So just add a drop per shampooing, or like I mentioned, the hair scalp recipe or oiling that I'll talk about at the end. Any of these oils can be added to those recipes. I'll also have these recipes and more linked below in my hair for essential oil hair blog below. So don't worry about writing everything down and getting really specific recipes. I'll have them for you below. Cedarwood, it is a oil from a tree, the cedarwood tree. So if you think about trees, they're deep rooted in the ground and very strong. And it has some of those characteristics in this essential oil that carry over to your hair. So as a hair tonic, when you add it to the hair oil, the hair oiling routine, or to your shampoo, it's going to have that similar effect. And essential oils are not going to make your hair oily, even though they're called an essential oil. They are more like the essence of the plant, and they're not oily at all. What makes them oily is when you add them to a carrier oil. So you don't have to worry about them making your hair oily at all. If you see anything, at least today, that looks like oil, it's because my hair is still wet from the shower. But you know, sometimes I do pop on with oily hair, but not today. It's just a little bit wet underneath. Next, if you're looking for something to stimulate your scalp, peppermint is going to increase circulation, which will also result in increasing circulation that promotes hair growth. So if your number 1 focus is to really grow the hair consider adding 1 drop peppermint and 1 drop rosemary during your shampoo to stimulate that scalp, or using peppermint in your hair oiling routine. And another nice thing about the peppermint is it has a nice cooling effect. So if you like that kind of tingling effect, you're gonna love to add peppermint. And it also just kind of wakes you up in the morning. It's really invigorating, can help with head tension. So if you feel that head tension coming on, you can use your peppermint oil kind of around your temples. And then when you're shampooing, to help relieve head tension. Or even when you're not shampooing, sometimes I just put a little bit of coconut oil, a little peppermint right on my temples right here, and let that melt the tension away. Next, we have lavender, and lavender is also great for strengthening and overall hair health and smoothing. So if you just want kind of the Swiss Army knife is what lavender is called in the essential oil world. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife, lots of different functions, right, that get to the same function. Try some lavender oil. So once again, add it with 1 or 2 of the other oils I have mentioned in either your shampoo routine, hair oiling, or a hair scalp recipe. Now, I love the smell of lavender. It's so relaxing to me. I would do this if I was one of the people who would wash my hair before bed. Or if you kind of like to smell like a spa, it smells like a spa when you combine lavender and rosemary to me. Sometimes I even like that combo in my diffuser. So can't go wrong with lavender. And then finally, geranium. And geranium is unique that it also helps with hormonal hair loss. So geranium is going to help with natural balancing of sebum production. So whether you over or under produce sebum, this is a great combination for you, for your hair, even for your skin. And then, like I mentioned, for hormonal hair loss. So the best way to use all 3 of these, or 4, 5, 6, however many. So here's the 6. You can use them in the recipes I have linked below, or into your shampoo like I mentioned. Just pick 1, 2, maybe up to 3, and just put a drop of each time you shampoo. If you're like me and you don't shampoo that often, I probably only wash my hair every once a week, maybe twice a week if I'm going somewhere and really need to wash it again. Then you might want to be adding these oils at another time. So if you have dry hair and you work well with hair oiling, if you don't know what hair oiling is, it's basically where you could use this is a Yarrow Palm bottle and recycle it. It's a 1 milliliter dropper bottle, so if you have one of these, you can recycle it, or you can order 1 milliliter dropper bottles from Amazon or go to your health food store. And I would put about 40 drops total of essential oil. So pick from those 6 oils whatever you're working on. Maybe it's all of it. Maybe you want to do 8 drops of each or something, or maybe you just pick your 3 favorites, whatever you're working on. And then after you put your essential oils in, you're gonna fill the rest up with some type of scalp friendly oil. I like jojoba, moringa oil is great. You could even use avocado oil that you cook with. It's a little bit thicker, so that'd be great if you have really dry hair. But I personally like moringa or jojoba oil for this. And then there's lots of videos if you want to watch on YouTube or TikTok of people doing this. But basically, you would just take your little dropper of oil and you kind of rub it through your scalp, and then you kind of part it and you go to the next line of scalp and you put some more in, and then you put some more in, and you just brush it through. And it works really well if you use something called a boar bristle brush. And this is not my boar bristle, this is just a regular one. But the boar bristle has like these really close together bristles that will pull the natural oils of your own scalp and then the oils you just added through your hair. Now that is great if you have dry hair, but if you get oilier hair like I do, it doesn't work as well, and I will give you another suggestion that you can use in just a moment. But even if you are somebody like me who does get the oilier hair, you could use that recipe on your ends and it'll keep your hair healthy. It's not gonna support the hair growth because that comes from our scalp. But oils like the lavender, cedarwood, or geranium would be great to add to that hair oil treatment, and then you could use just a little tiny bit on your ends or however much your hair likes. Another option that you can do is a hair mask, which is very similar to what I just talked about, except it's more like a treatment that you would put in your hair and leave it in for about 15 or 20 minutes and then wash it out completely of your hair. And that's going to also kind of soften and hydrate your hair as well. So if I do a hair mask, I don't do it very often. I probably only need it once every couple months, but some people like to do it every month, every couple weeks, kind of whatever your hair needs. So for a hair mask, I like to take equal parts. Personally, I like avocado oil that I cook with and coconut oil that I cook with, and I take equal parts. I need quite a bit because I have a lot of hair, so I use about 2 tablespoons of each, so that's a 1/4 cup total. And I do mostly my ends and then a little bit of a scalp massage. So I take those carrier oils. You could also use olive oil if you prefer, and then you could just use all olive oil or part coconut, part olive, part avocado, just kind of mix it up. And then in that hair mask, I probably use about 6 drops total of whatever oils I want. I just switch them up. My most recent was geranium, rosemary, and lavender, and I really liked the way that smelled and what it did for my hair. You just leave it on 15-20 minutes and then wash it extremely well. Double wash. If you don't know what that means, that's where you shampoo one time, get it all out, and then you shampoo again after you've rinsed it out to really remove all the extra carrier oils. Otherwise, your hair is going to look really greasy. And then the final thing that you can do with these essential oils, if you want to use it every day, but you don't want to use a hair oil because you have oilier hair, you can use it in water. So you can make a healthy scalp spray. And this is a 1 milliliter or a 1 ounce bottle. I would actually probably use a 2 ounce bottle, so I wouldn't have to refill it all the time. But I mentioned using a combination of 40 drops of essential oil in the same size. If I was using a spray bottle twice as big as this, so this is 1 ounce, if I was using a 2 ounce bottle, I would probably use the 80 drops. Because, no, actually 40 drops. Let's stick with 40 drops to make it easy. So 1 ounce bottle for the hair oil, 40 drops. 2 ounce bottle for the hair with water, so the scalp spray. I would also do 40 drops because with the scalp spray, you're probably gonna spray the water more and you're gonna go through the water faster, but the same amount of essential oils will actually end up on your hair, if that makes sense. Okay, so 40 drops of whatever combination of the essential oils we talked about, depending on what you're working on. Fill this up with filtered or distilled water or something similar. And then you have to shake it up every time you use it because oils and water don't like to mix well. But what you're going to do is then you're gonna spray it, just like I showed you with the hair oiling. You're gonna spray it close to your scalp, and every day, same thing, just go through and you spray, 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 and then comb it through with ideally a boar bristle brush. And you're still going to get the oils into your scalp, but it's not going to be oily because there's no carrier oil, and the essential oils, like I mentioned, do not make your hair oily. So that's another way that you could use these. So you could use that every day, and then be patient because the average hair is only growing about 1/4 to 1/2 inch every month. So you might be slower than average, you might be faster than average. Know what your normal hair growth cycle is, and then take pictures every month. So comb your hair, brush it in the back, brush it in the front, get a picture of the front, get a picture of the back, and once a month take a picture and watch your progress. And after a month, 2 months, 3 months, you're gonna start to see the progress as your hair grows, and you're going to see that it is more healthy looking, usually softer, usually silkier. I know we all have different hair types, but you'll start to notice some changes. And then my final bonus tip is, if you do want to see some good hair growth, is the MetaPower Collagen Advantage from Doterra. I have seen so many pictures that customers have either sent to me or I have seen online of this doing magical things for hair growth to make it thicker, longer, growing faster. And it makes sense because it's a collagen product designed to do a lot of things, but one of the things is hair, skin, and nail growth. So this is something you may also want to incorporate, and something I do take as well. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear what you use, if you use any of these essential oils for your hair growth, your experience. And I hope that you learned something. Do check out those recipes. And of course, if you need doTERRA essential oils or products, you can get that below at wholesale pricing. That's 25% below retail on my website, linked below at blissmama.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.